We're here with yet another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions on the latest games releasing. It's been a busy week. We've been pumping out these videos because there's a lot of games right now. Today we're talking about A Way Out. This is one that I've actually been really looking forward to. A Way Out is a really unique, smaller title put together from Hazelight. These are the guys behind Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. The theme of two is carried over to this new game for them because it's completely focused around a co-op adventure that you gotta play with someone else. That's it. That's the main hook here. It's only co-op. Does it pay off? I think so. It's kind of a long explanation without spoiling it though. Basically, most of it is fun if you don't take it too seriously, and the ending sequence is worth sticking around for. I won't spoil anything here, and I've kept most of my gameplay I recorded to early sequences, just as a heads up. The story centers around Leo and Vincent, these two guys who meet up in a 1970s prison who are both looking to get out. It turns out that their fates are more connected than you'd expect, and they set out to bust out of jail and fix their problems together along the way. It involves wrongful convictions, diamond heists, being framed, and family issues and stuff. The story isn't told completely linear. There are chapter bookends that kind of jump around a little bit, and I'm happy to say that there's far more going on than it just being a jailbreak game either. There's a lot more than just jail. Now, since you have to play together through co-op, either online or split screen, it really elevates the experience, or at least it did for me. I'd say it's definitely the main draw here, and thankfully the way it works, only one person needs a copy of the game to play through with another person, so that's fairly convenient. Gameplay-wise, it's fundamentally really simple. You and another person each control one of the characters, and you walk around scenes and do stuff. You interact with the environment, you talk to NPCs, you find keys, maybe pry open a door, etc., etc. But then there's car chases, driving, sneaking, hanging out, and everything in between. All of this is mostly done in third person, with some pretty impressive camera shifting. There's also even some two-dimensional sequences at times. It does a lot of creative things. You guys work together to do the usual video game stuff like open doors, push crates, and hoist each other up. But the real fun is the big action set pieces. These really kind of make up for some of the more mundane co-op stuff. Seeing the way the game sequences intertwine with one another is really a sight to behold. With the scenes either being split screen or shared screen or constantly shifting around, this is where the entertainment really is here. And that's where I said earlier, the experience is heightened thanks to the co-op, because some of the stuff here is really nicely designed around working together, and it's a blast. Car chases while one person is driving and one person is shooting, sneaking around guards while one other person distracts, fixing up a car, and even doing dumb diversionary stuff like playing a board game. It gives this game a great and steady flow of fun stuff. It's paced extremely well. Well, it's all mostly quick-time events and button presses and simple mini-games that might initially seem pretty run-of-the-mill. Some of them are designed almost like party games and are gonna have you kind of laughing and shouting if you're playing with someone you know. It's funny. Some of the scenarios they put you together in and how you have to work together are truly freaking brilliant. It's all a very good time, but when things slow down and when it comes to building character development or dialogue, things get a little awkward. The story in general, for the most part, feels like a bunch of game stories and cop drama action movies kind of all crammed into one. What doesn't help is just some real general awkwardness that's hard to explain. Think of the weird awkward parts from something like Heavy Rain and turn those up to 11 for A Way Out. Maybe it's some of the iffy voice acting, I don't know, it's hard to put my finger on. They really try ham-fistedly to make you care for the problems the characters are facing. And you do end up eventually caring, but during our playthrough, we both really were drawn to Leo just for his silly voice acting and lovable, goofy nature. And he's really a good example for what the entire game is. Lots of moments for laughing and goofing around despite the prison break crime and love and betrayal cliched story. It's the moments where you get to randomly play baseball in a trailer park for no reason, or see who can balance longer popping a wheelie in a wheelchair, or paddling down a rapid river in a rowboat together. And these are the gameplay moments you're really gonna remember. I'm giving this game props because I'm definitely going to remember it for a while. I'm not gonna remember many of the side characters or small moments or subplots, but I'm definitely going to remember the hilarious and really fun co-op moments that I think are definitely worth experiencing with a friend. It also looks pretty good as well. There's a lot of pretty scenery and very, very nice lighting going on here. Even if the characters look a little goofy in playing it, we did come across the occasional animation that was kind of weird and some glitches. The game still ran very well despite 2 people playing at once, and it's overall very pretty and impressive for what is a kind of a smaller development studio. The game does a little of everything, so not everything is completely perfect. You know, the shooting sequences are a little loose, the sneaking is simple, and the AI is goofy, and the driving is fairly linear, but it doesn't matter because you don't really end up doing the same type of action sequence twice. And moments move from one to the next so quickly, you don't really have much time to complain that, say, the third-person shooting doesn't feel as good as something like Uncharted 4, because it doesn't really matter. And it does keep your attention very, very well. And like I said, while we were barely able to take it seriously half the time we were playing, it still managed to pull through for the last 30 minutes and end pretty awesomely. I will not spoil it for you, but you could finish the whole thing in like 6 hours. It's not very difficult, really. I would say that's a good knock. I almost wish it was a tad bit more challenging, but you can make different choices and do different things throughout, as well as multiple endings, so it's at least worth a second playthrough. And I know I will definitely play through it again, because like I said, while it's not exactly Oscar-worthy, and it can even tend to be kind of cringe-worthy, it's got a lot of heart. A way out busts its ass to entertain you. And while it might stumble around here and there, it sticks the landing. It knows a video game, it knows it wants to entertain you, and I think if you're playing with a friend, you're gonna have some memorable moments. And sometimes, I don't wanna get corny, but I think that's important when you're playing games. But that's a before you buy. You know how this works by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and a lot of personal opinion, so now I definitely want to hear yours. How do you feel about this game? Maybe you just watched a Let's Play or a Twitch stream. I don't think it translates the same way, but if you have seen it, or maybe you have already played through it, let's talk about this game. I really want to know what you guys are thinking, because I can see why some people think it's trash, but I like it. It's kind of tacky, it's kind of hilarious, but it entertained me throughout. Sorry, not sorry. Let's talk about this down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys, but of course, as usual, if you have any other questions for me, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino. But you guys know the deal. Thanks so much for coming around here. Clicking the like button does really help us out, and we really appreciate it. And if you're new, you should subscribe, because you're joining an army 4 million strong, and we put out videos every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.